Hello, everybody. Thank you for watching. It is the American Doofus Show. Don't be a doofus. Joined tonight by two of my favorite former guests. We've got them on here for the first time together. Angry Knuckles and Delta. Welcome, guys.
Our honor, man. Pleasure to be here.
Hey, pleasure to have you.
Salute the field. Salute the party 66, most definitely. New Black Panther Party, NFAR, NFAC. Salute the struggle. Salute the hashtag.
There you
Black
go.
Power.
I like that unity, Delta.
Yeah, most definitely, man. It's about that time we get the right message out there. All in Neely Fuller Jr. also, man. Be doing stating a lot of quotes from Neely Fuller Jr. tonight.
Okay.
One of the guys we need to look into, you know, when it comes down to universal thinking, universal logic, universal men and women, you know.
Yeah.
But we stand on this though. The day they outlaw guns will be the day I become an outlaw. One of my clients bought this shirt for me, you know, for all the pro-gun owners.
Absolutely.
You know what they're trying to do? Disarm us.
Absolutely. We all have a lot more in common than anybody wants us to ever explore or acknowledge or understand. It's the purpose to keep us all divided, and part of the reason I do this show is to expose that, and especially when it comes to the Second Amendment and the fact that we got to be able to protect ourselves. You know, man, they start taking away our guns. That's a sign.
I want to mention something about the guns. If you go on Google and you put in I believe it's gun violence surges or something to that effect, or mass shootings surges, you'll see where in the last week or so you'll see tons, and they almost have the same picture. It will say like mass shootings have surged in Philadelphia, mass shootings have surged in this city, this city, this city, this city, but you never hear it on the mainstream media. But if you go on Google, you'll see it. They're spinning a narrative to try to tell people that guns are bad, that you know, we know that shootings are up. But if it was up as much as they're trying to say on Google right now, you'd be hearing it on CNN, Fox News, MSNBC, all these other major news broadcasts, and you're not seeing it like they're trying to, you know, put their narrative.
Yeah. That it's so it's propaganda, in other words.
Yeah. And it's you know, once they take the guns away from the people, now they have you backed in a corner. You have no way to defend yourself. So
and that's what we needed most in our Black community. And that's why in fact was very vital around these times here. Getting our folks to get the legal paperwork to be legal gun owners. You know, that's when it becomes dangerous, when we start playing by the rules. You know, but then again, we already know the rules is not set for us. And that's why I came in here tonight. Just to address a couple of issues that's going on out and about in social media land, you know? Where you from, bro? Angry Knuckles?
Northeast, man, Massachusetts.
Massachusetts, from the urban area?
I live in the city.
Okay. All right. Just trying to get some history back on you. I really know you too much. Like I say, a lot of these new nations, whatever the case may be, whatever you want to call them, when it comes down to the boogaloos, 3%ers, AVs, I got whereabouts coming from Doofus Show. You know, so I tell a lot of folks that, you know what I mean? I learned a lot from just watching Doofus Show, so I didn't have no proper intel on exactly what was out and about outside of, in fact, NFAR. You know, so it's a learning process. Never no disrespect, but there's law and order in everything we do. You know, so it's a lot of things that I saw and I didn't agree with, you know. Previous interviews that was conducted here. So you sit with two other guys. And we'll get into that. Doofus, go ahead and carry on.
Hey, I learn every episode that I do, and it's nice to know that other people learn stuff from the show as well. Let's see. Let's first start off. The last time you and I talked, Delta, you were NFAR, and now NFAR is kind of acknowledging New Black Panther Party as well as NFAC. Is that what I heard?
Most definitely. A lot of NFA, in fact, members need to understand something. I wanted to be clear on this. We are not members of InFact. They keep thinking that I'm just a member. I'm not a member.
Okay.
InFact was built with 2 individuals. Everything started from the chat call when Jay left from the Ahmaud situation that was down there in Georgia. Coming to find out he was not welcome. So like I told a lot of folks, I think he kind of infiltrated the Black community. And there's a lot of intel underground that was being revealed. But I'm not a member. They keep thinking I'm just a member, or we had some malice intent. When it came down to the fallout, that man denounced me. But it was 2 of us who built the regime up. I brought in my folks. Jay did his part, but I'm not a member.
Okay.
You know,
right.
I am first command.
Okay. All right. Well, I don't want to talk about Grandmaster Jay because the guy's not here to defend himself, and that just opens a whole can of worms. And
yeah, we saw the court issue. They dropped the charges on Jay. You know, I know he's a happy man today. You know, going back to all eyes on Jay. You know, and that's good. Like I told folks, we are never in favor of white supremacy. When it comes down to the court system, we know where it stems from: jail, prison. It stems from the slave catchers.
Right.
You know, so we're never in favor or feel like it's a big win for us for this man to even catch 20 years, even go to jail. That's not me. You know, we're not Moore's World. You know, so he beat that case. You know what I mean? So be it. But it's odd to a lot of folks. You know, when I saw major TV, all on the major TV, Talk Black to Me radio, you know, commend those guys even getting off their asses, going out there showing some concern. You know, but they was asking questions about where he stemmed from. And Jay kind of threw that left. Like I tell a lot of folks, there's a lot of intel about, in fact, when it came down to the vetting process, when he's asked those questions, he's always throwing it left. We won't go into this, we won't go into that. No, that we did the vetting process through South-based NFAR. You know, so it's bigger than what you think. And I also question behind the All Eyes on Jay movement, there was over $250,000 supposed to have been collected for his lawyer fees. We didn't see no lawyer, and now we just asking, where's that bag at? Community need that money. Give it back to the people. That's all we're saying. All right.
Okay.
But other than that,
but he did have a lawyer. He had one of the best lawyers in Louisville, and I assume he still does, because now the way I understand it, there's still one federal charge remaining. 4 federal charges were dropped, but he still has to go back in May for 1 federal charge.
Yes, I'm not.
But and as far as how much of that money was spent on an attorney, you know, I don't know. And is it legitimate for the Black community to question that? That's not my call either. But as far as you said the vetting process, and Knuckles, I want to jump over to you here for just a few minutes, because you were talking about the fact that you joined, you kind of joined a group of others in the Angry Viking chat, changing your name. A lot of you changed it to Angry, whatever, putting Angry before your name, right?
Yeah, so a lot of us, you know, we'd go there with, you know, whatever name before we actually, you know, became serious with following them. And then after a while, a bunch of us just started changing our name to, you know, there's a bunch of them, Angry, and then whatever their screen name was. We just put Angry in front of it.
Yeah, Angry Air Force wife, Angry firefighter, examples of potential.
Yeah.
Okay, now you said something about a scrubbing process before you were able to go on live. Yeah,
so in the beginning, if I don't know if the videos are still on YouTube, but you know, all this can be verified by going and watch the older videos. But when they first got up and running, and they made their website, they had a website at one point, you know, and they were taking, you know, people to be actually members. Certain ones could, you know, get positions of being a president of that state, of that chapter for that state, so on and so forth. But they had people that, and I'm not too sure who the people are, that, you'd have to email them and you'd have to give them some information, and they would have to kind of do a scrubbing process.
Yeah.
They'd have to background check, and you'd have to meet a certain qualification to be able to join. I mean, I know from past videos and past things that he's done, like, you could not have no charges that were, serious charges, no hate crime stuff, no pedophilia, no rape, some extreme stuff like that would automatically disqualify you from being able to join. If you had something against you that was, minor and something that, stupid people do when you're a teenager or some shit, I'm sure they probably would overlook it, but I'm not the one who did the vetting process.
So he was trying to build a national militia, it sounds like.
I don't know if I want to call it a militia, but he was trying to build a national group.
Okay. All right. Okay, hold on right there, Knuckles. Delta, you heard the vetting process, kind of. Is that without, because we don't want to expose any details or anything, but is that similar to how NFAC was constructed?
Yeah, most definitely. I'll honor my line is from GMF. JC, I knew it from like 10 years in. I tell folks we stem from the underground guerrilla ops, RBGs, BPC, things like that.
Right.
So we had our own process about even following up with members. We had a lot of ex-military also. We had over 5,000 members the first weekend, and I eliminated like 1,500 people from the vetting process. I couldn't do all that work on my own.
Yeah.
So the overload was stacking up too much. Things went left when it came down to us departing. In fact, like I say, GMJ knew the process, where he knew the system of Facebook. He helped build the software, and the group got kind of eliminated. Both of my profiles got flagged. So when they came back from DC, we didn't overstand that. But the vetting process came through South Base. We were the muscle. We were also the drill sergeants. So we had everything lined up over there. Every base was already set from New York, Georgia, California, Texas. You see, the foundation was set. Just the overall process. There was a lot of work, and I was told to delete the group by GMJ. So that drew the first issue with me and him, as far as division. And so I felt like, in fact, it's beyond letters. It could be A, B, C, D. It really don't matter. The field comes first.
Okay.
The overall mission at hand. So yeah, same process.
All right.
Okay.
All right. You and Knuckles, you guys want to have a little bit of one-on-one? You want to have a little sit down with each other? And I'll just kind of sit back and observe and let you talk with each other.
I would just like to ask him, has he ever been on Tahara Bay's show before? Moore's World TV?
Have I ever been on it?
Yeah, you ever passed through there, ever spoke with him before? Because I know he mentioned it. He gave you a shout out the other day when you gave him that $10 donation.
Yes, I did. I was on it for matter of fact, just in case anything was brought up. I went today. I spent about 2 hours because I didn't know the title of the video. So I spent about 2 hours going back through videos and fast forwarding and rewinding all that bullshit. And I found the video. I was on there for like, I don't know, I'd say maybe 10 minutes. He had said something about, I believe he had said something about Angry Viking. And I had put in the chat at that time, this is a couple months ago. I had said, I put in the chat, don't be lying and all that shit. And I don't remember exactly what he came back with, but he said, come on the show, this and that. So I finished up what I was doing, and he put the link out, and I went on there, and I sat down, and I sat there, talked to him for like I said, maybe 10 minutes. And he said that after we were done, he said that he would want me to come back on the show to speak about, I believe he said like race relation, something to that effect. And I've heard him a couple times since then say about me coming on. I just haven't reached out to him, only for the fact that he's been having a lot going on with a lot of, whatever he's dealing with, the new Black Panther Party, all that kind of stuff. So I didn't want to be the one to interrupt that and do a show. When he has time for anything else, I'll go ahead and I'll hit him up, go on there or whatnot. But I was on there very, very short amount of time. I wasn't on there full show or anything.
Oh, okay. So this was before I went out to the AV rally.
So matter of fact, give me 1 second. I'll tell you exactly what video it was.
Okay.
Shit. Hold on. If I could figure out how I go to my saved videos.
Because I would only question if he knew you came from AV's platform and he tried to turn that around about us going out there and
yeah, he knew
on the AV situation.
I mean, he knew. I believe we talked very, very seldom about AV. I can't get the.
Okay, so Delta, let me jump in here real quick while Knuckles is trying to figure out his video. Basically, what you're saying is there's kind of a double standard because he didn't approve of you talking with Angry Viking, yet it's okay for him to have Angry Knuckles. Is that?
Yeah, because I never knew he sat over there. I didn't know where he came from also. Like I told you, I got a lot of intel from you. When it came down to AVs, Boogaloos, 3%ers, and all that Proud Boys, I don't know, you know what I mean? The history of them, so I was shocked to hear that.
So, the name of the video is Grandmaster J pleads not guilty to state charges with, and I don't know what the rest of it is.
Okay.
Let me see. Grandmaster J pleads not guilty to state charges with a lawyer his followers paid for. It was streamed live on December 19th was the exact date.
Okay. See, and I also tell folks, we are regime. We are not the Moorish Temple. We are not the conscious community. We are regime coalition. We go anywhere. You see, so when it come down to Stone Mountain, when it came down to the Breonna Taylor run, we go anywhere. If we feel like they're the opposition, they're the enemy, we going to them. You see, we're not the conscious community. That's why I tell folks they need to understand that first and foremost. Any INFACT member that's hollering INFACT, they need to understand that this is not the conscious community. So for him to draw that type of division to try to turn that, I was kind of confused, because once again,
hold on. So you're saying that you're confused because Knuckles is.
No, I was kind of confused. Yeah, I was kind of confused.
All right.
Because when it came down to the AV rally situation after your show, it was already premeditated. It was pre-planned that we would go to AVs and speak with them.
Yeah.
Once we got over there, his fan base was very, they were very, very humble, very respectable. So my energy kind of shifted a little bit, but I was very upset about that those Breonna Taylor remarks that was made. Seeing the blue line behind him on the flag and all, I was also muted. I was muted, so we sent the email about that situation. And that's how that really occurred when I sat on his platform and we spoke. But as far as us going out to the rally, we were invited. But like I told folks, NFAR, Florida is mine. Any rally that's being conducted here, you must come through us. So that's how that came about also. The previous week beforehand, I was trying to get in contact with AVs for King Kendrick. Kendrick was having some issues up there in Kentucky. And I guess he kind of praised AV for going out there and I guess he felt like AV was defending Kentucky from GMJ third run, who wasn't present, saying that Jay was talking about he was going to burn down Kentucky and AV came out in defense. So that's why he wanted to sit with the AV squad. So I was trying to set that up for him. But we never got no response. No email returns, no nothing. So going up into the AV rally, my lioness, Jason, she was the one who brought it up. you know, that same date. Like, Delta, why don't y'all just go out there? I was just with the chick. So I was like, well, we never got no response. So I don't want to just really pop up on them like that. That's how that transpired. You know, so it came from my line and I asked her, was you okay? Were you comfortable? Because me, myself, I go anywhere. Black Ops, we do what we do. You know, so like I said, once again, this is not the Black community. This is not the Moorish World TV. That's not my follow. I don't do social media like that. You know, for that one individual to take the opportunity to leech off the Black community, their ignorance. There's a lot of ignorance going on over there on that man's platform. I want to just address that tonight about the issue that also occurred last night.
Okay.
You know, but yeah.
All right. Okay. Moorish World has been brought up. It was probably 8-9 months ago. I went to watch an episode of Moorish World TV, and I went because I wanted to learn. I wanted to get an idea of what the Moorish culture was, what it represented, because I've heard the term, but I was ignorant as to what the culture was about. And when I got to the channel, it wasn't talking about Moorish people or Moorish culture or the Moorish movement. He was tearing down Grandmaster Jay.
Yeah,
and I'm like,
video.
You know, I can see that. I can see that on all kinds of platforms. I wanted to learn about Moorish world. I wanted to learn about the Moors. So that's why I don't watch, because I went there for knowledge, and instead I got all this confrontation, you know, among another member of the Black community. And quite honestly, I didn't know a lot about Grandmaster Jay then, and he was tearing him down. I thought, man, this Grandmaster Jay must be a really bad guy. And I started investigating and thought, this guy, you know, this guy is intelligent. This guy's, you know, he's got a vision. You know, it was nothing like what I was hearing from Moorish World. So I don't go back there. I don't watch. I watched last Sunday because the Honorable Crystal Muhammad was going to be on, and I wanted to see what she had to say, because I don't know that much about the new Black Panther Party, and I get questioned. So I was just looking to learn, and I saw him, in my opinion, disrespect her, and that just made me, you know, not want to watch it even more.
Yeah.
Okay.
See,
that's where I'm coming from.
Oh yeah, I understand that. That's why I come in to really try to explain. We are RBGs. You see that a little bit of tattoo on my shoulder.
For the white people watching, that means red, black, green.
Yeah, Marcus Garvey Creed, the original Black Panther Party. There's a history to the Moorish World Temple. Starting with Africa, going back to the Congo genocide, Leopold. When we're talking about the African slave trade, that is real. And that was conducted by the Moors. A lot of Moorish men don't like that. They don't like to face that fact. But like I tell them, it's no matter, I'm not with the science, I'm not with the consciousness. I'm just saying, speak for those Africans that were castrated. You know what I mean? Murder, over 10 million that was sent Leopold's ghost.
Okay.
Do research on that.
All right, this is a totally different episode. This will take a lot longer than what we got now. But
exactly.
You want to talk about what happened? What apparently happened last night on Moorish World TV? I did not see it, but I've had a lot of emails. You know, you two guys talk about this.
Yeah, like I say, what I do owe an apology to the InFact members. From me, I was very aware of what I was doing when I went to Moorish World TV. He was the last option, and I heard him plug that the other night, say he didn't come to Delta. Yes, you did. You contacted me. I reached out to him, but I reached out to those like Ronald S. Martin, something like that. Roland S. Martin, Sinetta TV, Urema, all those guys. Some of those guys, they didn't want to really get involved with InFact, that militia, like it was kind of too dangerous for him. So he was the last option. But I saw from the history of it, if you go on this man platform, you'll see Moorish World versus Sarasun Seti, Moorish World versus Sinetta, Moorish World versus Pharaoh Allah. That's what he do. You know what I mean? So I overstood that. And I kind of took the advantage of it, you know what I mean, to try to purposely undercut Jay. So that's why I do owe, in fact, an apology. because you would think those like yourself would be, you know what I mean, throwing us under the bus like that, or AVs, but it's really our own kind. You know what I mean? How, like I say, once again, how we got into this boat. I didn't know the man history. I didn't know the man history. I didn't know about the domestic violence. I didn't know about the child abuse cases. I didn't know about none of that. You know,
Well,
we just
I don't know about any of that either.
Yeah, we just finding that out. You know what I mean? I didn't do my research on one individual like he was doing on Grandmaster Jay. Also going back to one of his handlers, he jumped on your comment section. And I just want to really throw that out there also, from when it came down to the agent, these agent remarks, the rhetoric, the sneak disses towards Crystal Muhammad. Coming into the conscious community, it started with the Black Panther Party. This new Black Panther Party stemmed from a guy, Rising Power, has him. You'll see a documentary that was clipped up by Vice documentary when GMJ went to that man's funeral, you know, and you know, he utilized this man's casket, you know what I mean? The death of a fellow comrade, you know, and Jay didn't have no connections with this guy. Like I told folks going into ATL, I was sent to watch the Black Panther Party. That's what I was sent to do. So I didn't understand how could you speak at this man's funeral. So I was really speaking in defense of him. But I see the other guy came out, and I guess he felt some type of way. But long story short, when it come down to the agent talk, you can also pull this up. Ali Muhammad, Tampa, Florida gets robbed. Pull that up. Ali Muhammad, Tampa, Florida gets robbed. That was Hashim Circle. That was his guy. The Panther, he made a mockery of us. Like I say, it's here. It's what that was for. The original Panther Party. So that new Panther Party stuff, that came late. So when he got robbed, he called the police, and that's when we started trending out online. So they made a mockery of us. You hear me? So that was Hashim Circle, and there's much more to that. I won't really go into detail. But last night, yeah, the disrespect from Crystal Muhammad actually going out there applying herself, putting boots on the ground, a woman, however short the regime may be, to the outside eye, they out there applying themselves. This is not the Moorish World TV. This is not the conscious community. We don't have time to really sit online, you know what I mean, and belittle the next one, because right now, the outside eye looking in, we look very ignorant. If you scan that comment section, all you'll see is laughing emojis and all this type of stuff here. But all that woman ever done when she sat on that man's platform was tell folks, hit the cash app, support the platform. And he doesn't have a real platform. You hear me? So that's why I done that from 15,000 followers, like all on the Michi X, also 60,000. Sarah Soon City, 100,000, Urema, 100,000 plus. You see, those are real platforms, you know. So we done him a favor. And for him to just sit there and turn that slate like that, throw me up under the bus, throw King Kendrick up under the bus, this was the last straw, you know. So yeah, last night things kind of went left. But then again, you know, that's what it's going to take for the outside eye to see that we're not playing amongst each other. You know, order starts within the organization. Same way with mob creed, gang creeds, whatever the case may be, U.S. Army. You see, you kill a cop today, what you want to get capital murder. Order starts within the organization. We got to show more order. And that's what we lacking at. So that was my issue with Angry Knuckles here. When we saw you go over there, you see, like I told you before, I didn't know that you set up that previously before, in the future, in the past. But then again, for me to see you go over there and get this man a $10 donation, we kind of felt like he was undercutting us. You see, like I tell folks, like the saying on Friday, these be black problems. Stay in your lane. You hear me? Yeah, you have the right to voice yourself, voice your opinion, how you view things. That's your right. But when it comes to our issues, we have our own issues. You see, we don't need nobody coming in, you know what I mean, playing the fence with us. You know, because we always saying how they came to the homeland. They came with bobbers and swords, smiling in your face like they're your friends. Me, I don't sit on no platforms. I don't kiss no, you know what I mean? I don't do that. So when I went to AVs, they understand why I came. When I came here, they understand why I came. You hear me? I don't do that. You know, I don't wear no mask to no one. You know, we are regime. We go anywhere. It's law and order and myself. You know, so that's how I felt. But there was some previous comments that you made on an interview that was just conducted with two other black males that was sitting on the platform. You said something about black power being offensive. Remember that?
Yes, I do.
Yeah, I ain't understand that. You know, I didn't understand that. And you left a comment on the video, and you were saying about the black community, something like that. And you was like, "Well, I'm not afraid." You know what I mean? It's like, okay, we get it. But that's what makes folks like Crystal Muhammad be timid to come over here and sit with the opposition. You hear me? So it's like
what comment you talking about so I can address that? I'd like to
you said something. I mean Galaxy had left he left a comment on, I forgot exactly what video it was, but you said something about you overstand the Black community, but you're not afraid, something like that. You said something about reparations. Also, when it came down to the Jews, you know how the Jews got reparations. You know what I mean? Like I say, undercutting us again. These be Black problems. You see, that's all I'm saying. So
what I'm saying is, we're just speaking though, right? So if I do get something wrong, and you guys come to me and say, "Yo, listen, what you said was not correct," you tell me the correct information. Well, then I guess I learned something, right? I mean, listen, everybody ain't perfect, and that's the whole thing about sitting down and having dialogue, and speaking to each other about the shit that's going on. The other thing that I want to address with the $10 that I gave to Tahaka, if you were to sit down and do a video, I'd probably throw you $10. I do it because I help people out, not because of absolutely everything that they do. Now, I do know looking up some information can cost money. I do know that taking your time to make a YouTube video, I don't really have the patience to do that. So taking your time out to do stuff like that, if you're going to pay to get somebody to wreck it or something like that and bring the information forward, I do it to help people out. That's why I do it. It's not anything against anybody. I don't know Crystal Muhammad. I don't know the other gentleman that he is talking about. I don't, at the end of the day, he's saying that ops, they are authorities or whatever. Do I know that? I don't know that. Do I think they are? I never said they were. You know what I mean? All I know is that from what, I don't know much about the new Black Panther Party. I don't know much about that kind of stuff. And I'm not afraid to come and say that I don't know about it. So like a video, I believe Doofus just brought up the other day showing the new Black Panther Party out there with the truck. And, he didn't show a lot of it because of the music. And they were giving stuff out to their community. That is great. That is great. I love to see that stuff. Because there's people out there in the community that really, really need the help, especially right now. And, I love to see that stuff. And when I see that stuff, I commend it because, it's a good thing. It really is. And, I do want to say something, but I don't want it to come out the wrong way.
Yeah.
And that's like, for instance, how, and I believe I've heard it on a lot of things where they say, us as the Black community, we got to get together because, the white supremacists, they're laughing at us and everything else. And, that's what I was going to say is the Black community does have to come together, uniting. Do you know how much, how good it would be to see the Black community come together and all the violence to stop? And that's coming, you know what I mean?
Yeah. And honor Black power, right?
And what I'm saying is, I can't change no one's thought. For anybody on here that thinks I'm a white supremacist, I cannot change what you think. I know in my heart that I'm not. So it doesn't bother me. You can call me it all you want. It doesn't bother me because I know I'm not.
I mean, sometimes you might think you're not. You see, you might be programmed. You might be subconsciously a white supremacy minded. When you say things like Black power offends you, or you bring up, we talking about reparations, and you bring up the Jews, that's like saying Black Lives Matter. And here they come, all lives matter. Well, show us a sense of urgency when you out there in Springfield burning down your own community. Show us a sense of urgency when the white folks get hit. You see, when y'all come out and y'all pull, you see what I'm saying? So it's like, you might not understand that, you hear me? But your actions speak louder than words, bro, from what you're saying and what's coming out your mouth. You know what I mean? So that'll throw things left.
And I've always said this though, Delta, that and I think I've told, I think Doofus can vouch for me on this one, because I've told him multiple times. I don't always explain stuff the correct way either. That's why I always say, if there's anything I ever say and you take it the wrong way, come to me. I don't mind sitting down and telling you what I meant. Even if I meant what you thought I meant, I'll still tell you, because I believe in honesty. I believe in integrity. And what I was trying to say about, and maybe you will take it the wrong way. Maybe you don't understand what I say about the Black Power stuff, is that, me personally, we're all people. This is what causes division between all of us, is looking at each other as a nationality, as a color. If we just looked at each other as men and women, if we just looked at each other as the same, we all breathe the same air, we all bleed red, we all, you know what I mean? We are all the same. If you break it all down, if you don't look at color, if you don't look at nationality, we're all people. You're not a different species. I'm not a different species than you. We're all human, man.
I understand
what I was trying to say with that.
I understand where you're coming from, but what I mean by that, by your viewpoint there, until the powers that be look down on both sides as humans, or we're all the same color, the power structure, who's setting those laws, that's the only time we're going to get that. You can't look over here to those, like at the Panther Party, you know what I mean, and expect them to invite you. You know what I mean? I can't look at AVs and expect them to be inviting also, or be overstanding, you know what I mean, from our ways of just how we conduct ourselves out here when it comes down to our modern day tyranny. We want to go out there and burn up this, burn up that. That's their way of expressing themselves, so when you spoke on, like you say, we should all be looked at as equal. Okay, cool, no problem. But when you speak on things like Black Power is offensive, I'm trying to figure out how is that offensive to you? And also, when you brought up the remarks about reparations, you see, when you brought up reparations, dealing with the Germans, that's over there in Germany. You see, that's in German. That's the German folks over there. Like also over here, when it came down to the natives, they got reparations. And you know what? Our reparations were given back to the slave master, Honest Abe lying there. Gave them over 50 million. You see that 40 acres in the mule. So when you know your history, or you even have some kind of concern or care to really go deep into your research and your study before you speak from opinion, from your own view standpoint, that's what I'm saying. So that's white supremacy minded. They groomed you that way. Maybe you might feel like, okay, I'm not. But then again, what come out your mouth, actions speak louder than words, bro. That's all I'm saying. So just overstand where we stand at when it comes down to our own tyranny. And like you said, when you went over there and gave him a $10 donation, we didn't see that before. We just saw that last night. Because your comment, Black Power offends you. It's offensive. Who's hollering Black Power? The Black Panther Party, Black Power. So he's using you as a tool. You understand what I'm saying? So that was
just you just brought that up, and that didn't even cross my mind to even. I would never have thought of to look at it like that. So if that did offend anybody, I'll apologize, because you explaining it like that, I guess that would probably make someone think.
Yeah.
By me saying that offends me, and then going to put a donation towards somebody that's saying something towards people that say that stuff. Yes, I guess I can understand it that way. And the only thing I can say is I apologize. I mean, it wasn't meant that way. But if it offended anybody, I'm big enough to say I apologize. It wasn't meant that way.
And that's the beauty of talking with each other.
Yeah, you have a point. You know what I mean? Like I said before, it's white supremacy. You see, it's white supremacy. You can't expect the next individual, you know what I mean? That's kind of ignorant when it comes down to law and order, Masonic creeds, that's what we call it, so on the power structure, who set these laws, who set these creeds, who set these terms that we're living by today, as far as Civil War, a lot of folks still today through elementary still think that the Civil War is for freeing the slaves and all that. No, that was law and order there. When you got upper class, middle class, crackers, that's basically what they call y'all. You hear what I'm saying? The same way, like anytime if you're Caucasian and you speaking out against the power structure, what they did to JFK, The blue is what they did to him. You see, so what is that? Is that white power? You feel what I'm saying? Is that the power struggle? Is he accepted as being a Caucasian? No. It's law and order and everything you do. That's what I'm saying. So law and order must be instilled within our own communities. So if you come out and you speak like that, we have to come out and address it. You know, another comrade set up there, the other guy that was sitting up there with you, he spoke on Hitler and the black Nazis. No, they worked for him. You see, the black French, they worked for him. Yeah, Arab Nazis also. You see, Hitler knew the power structure. He knew how to use the system. The same way our folks are using this black fad, like Tahara Bay, to turn the left on our own kind. You see, so it's like it's a history to everything that here's another level to it that must be taught today. Like Michael Jackson said, the textbooks are a lie. What they did to him, Conrad Murray, silenced him. You see, anytime you're speaking against the power structure, that is a real issue right there. You know, so that's all I'm saying. When we saw him sit over there, you're being used as a tool. And we didn't know you sat over there previously, beforehand, before I even went out there to the AV rally. You know, so that furthermore lets me know, okay, yeah, he knows exactly what he's doing.
Can
You hear me?
Can you go a little bit more in depth as far as you thinking? How do you mean that Knuckles is being used as a tool? Whose dog has that been, by the way?
I think it's one of the little dog out here.
Yeah,
You can hear that.
Yeah.
But yeah, he's being used as a tool because that remark that he made with the black power is offensive. We never seen Talk call this man out, calling back to his show. You know what I mean? To all this stuff, it's all this ignorance been going on. You know, all these issues right here, dealing with the new Black Panther Party, dealing with myself. When it came down to NFA C, it's a joke. NFA R is a joke. It's not real. New Black Panther Party is a joke. RBPP is a joke. You hear me? So it's so much division that's been going on this man's platform that's being passed down. And so I felt like he was using him as a tool to come on there, like he brought on Talib, the other guy, last night also.
Okay.
You know, so to make videos.
When he said for me to come on, it was like I said, we had a short conversation at one time before, and he wanted to talk to me about race relation. And like I've always said, I'll come on and talk to anybody. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
You know, I think talking, sitting down like this and one thing I do want to bring out also, Delta, is that for you to ask me to be here so you can address me personally like this and talk to me directly instead of going through somebody else or me hearing it on a video. I give my utmost respect to you because some people don't do that. And I wanted to, when I knew that you wanted to speak to me directly, instantly, that makes me look at you in a different manner because I respect people like that. That's it shows your honor and integrity as well.
Yeah, appreciate that. You know what I mean? Like I said, there's never no malice intent with me. It's never nothing personal. But when it comes down to speaking the truth, you know what I mean? We need the right voice out there. As Neely Fuller Jr. stated, we don't have Black leaders today. We don't have Black spokesmen. You see, and everybody taking the opportunity to cash in off the Black hashtag. So that's my job, to come out and counterattack that. Like what we see going on right now, we see more division going on within the Black community than anything. You see, it's not AVs, it's not 3%, it's not proud that I'm going off of. You know what I mean? They're not the opposition right now. You know what I mean? It's our own kind. So we got to clean our own house. A lot of house cleaning first before we even think about even moving forward to be liberated. So the true enemy at hand, sometimes they come in costume. You'll see things like Ray Wood's been exposed today. You see the Black Judah movie out with Fred Hampton. You see things like Jesse Jackson, Al Sharpton, who was trying to capture Assata Shakur, Tupac aunt, while he wore that wire for the FBI. Things like that. Gene Roberts. The Black agent is real. That's all I'm telling folks. Like, don't get caught up in Black power, like what you saying, Black power. Everything that holler Black power ain't for its people. you know, and but that's for us to deal with, for us to handle, you know what I mean? And you know, I just want to come out here and just throw that out there.
All right.
You know what I mean? Our folks need to have a, you know what I mean, clear vision.
Delta,
really
I want to, before we're getting ready to wrap things up here, am I looked at as that way? Is my show looked at um, as somebody sticking their nose when it doesn't belong? Because I don't try to get in the middle of anything. I just report on things that aren't being reported on. Like last night's episode or this morning's episode about the radio announcers calling the young high school basketball players F and N word. You know, that's not getting national media coverage. That's not getting the coverage it should be getting. I try to do things like that. Am I looked at as someone that needs to? Am I in the wrong lane? Let me just ask it that way.
Oh no, you're genuine. You know what I mean? You've always been genuine in my eyes. You know, and I think everybody on the outside, they also know that. You know what I mean? Our folks, like, they just don't trust. We don't know who to trust.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So if folks don't want to come sit down and you know what I mean, and dialogue, you know, they have their reasons for that. You know,
I've never felt disrespected by anybody that would not come on the platform. You know, I understand why they won't come on the show. You know,
it's a lot of division, a lot of turmoil. Same way, like True Soldier come sit on your show, and I see black folks trying to make a mockery of him because he don't speak proper English or speak the grammar that they feel like this is called educated. You know what I mean? This is educational. You know what I mean?
That guy's got so much intelligence than people don't realize.
The way how he voiced himself, you know what I mean? The way he voiced himself, you know what I mean? He knows exactly what he's talking about. You know, he has that vision, but the way how our own folks look down on the folks that really have some kind of concern, you know what I mean? And even attempting, they're coming from the field. They can be out there doing anything else, committing all kind of violence, and you sit there and call them what? They call them thugs, criminals. You know what I mean? But at least he's here on your platform, trying to make a difference. That's why I honor Major TV, Talk Black to Me Radio, all honor the party, Crystal Muhammad, the party even applying themselves. You know, we got to understand white supremacy. That's the overall goal that needs to be targeted today. We got to cleanse white supremacy. So you can't expect the next African American to accept you. You can't accept the next Caucasian to accept you. Your way of living, until the powers that be look down and they consider us all as being human beings. Now I say that to say this: when it comes down to the abolitionists, the freedom riders, before black folks, we got civil rights, we had to get human rights. They didn't consider us as being even human beings. You hear me? That's why they cut your head off, put it on the wall, cut your testicles off, all kinds of stuff, make coats out your skin and all that black skin. You see, so the torment, the chaos, man, our folks had to deal with. They didn't consider us as being human. You feel me? So that's that's one thing we gotta understand. The history, the true history of white America. You see, the true nature of the land is white supremacy, not black versus white supremacy. Those officers, police officers, are to grant justice, as Neely Fuller Jr. stated. Those are law enforcers to enforce the law of white supremacy. You see, those are white supremacists in a costume. Every cop is not bad. You know what I mean? Every cop don't have malice intent. Every cop is not racist. Those are racist cops behind the badge in costume. You hear me? That's all it is. So we got to understand that first and foremost and understand who your enemy is. You looking at that guy that put his knee on George's neck and you see like, okay, this is the end point, this is the end game, or that 27 million that they trying to pass down, or the 12 million that they gave to Breonna Taylor family. That's like $27 to the oppressor. You see, when they got $500 million yachts, things like that. You know what I mean? So it's like they're throwing it back in our faces. You know what I mean? Just to keep this order, you know what I mean, spiraling out. Keep us all under order with that same mindset. Like I'm telling him, you might not think that you're under white supremacy, you know, subconsciously, the way how we've been groomed to view the next individual. They play the number on both sides, blacks and whites. You know, so we got to come out and we just got to have the right voice today. You know, we got to take the right stance. And that's all I'm saying right now. When you see on social media, it's blacks versus blacks. That's something that we got to deal with.
Okay.
And that's what we was handling last night. You know, also, when it come down to this COVID vaccine, you're all getting it. You see, you're all getting it. They don't care, black, white, whatever the case may be. The elders, y'all getting it first. Depopulation, nano chips. Look into that. Look into the monarch butterfly. Movies like The Butterfly Effect with Ashton Kutcher. Look into that. You see, know how to research what you're researching and research that. There's levels to it. You are the company you keep. Steel sharpens steel. You see, but then again, we don't want to sit down and pass off information to one that could be an opposition.
Right.
Yeah, they could be like Angry Knuckles. That's why I had to come here and figure that out. He could be a white supremacist in disguise, taking back intel the same way how Jesse Jackson was doing. COINTELPRO. You see, they had those boys under payroll for 4 years. Abe Lincoln was biracial. J. Edgar Hoover was biracial. You see, a lot of history that's being untold today. You know what I mean? But it's being revealed through the proper research. So utilize technology to your advance. You know what I mean? Don't just sit here and let them groom you and herd you. That's sheep herding. You know, so we'll fix our problems. You know, we know what it takes. And like I said before, we are regime. We go anywhere. You hear me? We go anywhere. We come out anywhere, anytime. Like they saying about the DC raid, the White House raid and all. Yeah, black folks will come out and say, well, if that had been black folks, such and such. Well, how many Million Man marches we done had? It didn't bust a window out.
Right.
You hear me? They overstand you. You see, they overstand us. They overstand how to trigger the emotions of black folks. That's what Tahara Bey is doing. He's reversing it around on his own kind. And those be the worst of the worst. That you'll think yourself will be conducting that type of intent, divisional intent that he has right now. Divisive, very divisive. Same way with GMJ. When it came down to Delta, I need you to watch the Panther Party. I didn't understand that. RBGs, Guerrilla Gun Club. Nobody was befriended. Behind the scenes, they didn't know that. You see what I'm saying? So it's like, my thing is like, we have to really come out and address a lot of issues amongst our own circle first before we can even venture out and try to make new friends. So I understand when the line is don't want to sit on certain platforms or a lot of individuals out here and they hollering black power. Overstand that first and foremost. That shit, there's nothing to feel offensive about when it comes down to, if it come down to Asian power, you know what I mean? Latino power, they flying they Cuban flag, the Puerto Rican flags with pride. You see, everybody else is accepted, but us, I don't understand that. You know what I mean?
Good point.
Yeah.
All right.
Go.
When I was saying about the black power though, real quick, when I was saying about the black power, I wasn't just singling you guys out either though. If I heard a white man walking around screaming white power, I'd mush his face into the ground just because, you know, it's you know, like I said, it's offensive to me. If it goes for any race. So, you know, I don't want you to think that it was singling out just black people, that it's black power that makes me you know, a little uneasy.
You just see it as a divisive term. In your opinion, it's divisive.
Yeah, very divisive.
Yeah, you know, and you know, and I could be taking it wrong, right? Because, for instance, when I have heard on different shows and stuff, for instance, like the new Black Panther Party, and I could be taking it the wrong way, but they almost make it sound like, the way I take it is they make it sound like every white person is a white supremacist and then they're yelling black power. It almost feels like a racial thing in my point of view. But like I said, I could be taking it the wrong way. You know, maybe they don't go ahead and mean it that way, and I'm taking it wrong. So that's what I was, you know, I'm just trying to explain how I see it, but then at the same time, you know, maybe they don't mean it in a racial way. Maybe they don't think every white person is a white supremacist. It's just how it's said while they're doing the show. It almost seems like that, you know.
Yeah, you know, and then they did ask you a question like that house that you're in right now. Someone break in your house and vandalize your house and steal all your goods. How would you feel about that individual if they were Asian? You see, if all the Asians, like they're saying about Antifa going down and burning down the Black communities now, as if they are standing in solidarity with the folks, you know. But how would you feel? You understand? How would you feel about if someone vandalized your home, killed your mother, killed your father, you hear me, your siblings? You see, how would you feel? I'm talking about the history of the Black house. Understand why they feel that way. Understand law and order today. Look at the Black communities. Right where you are today, you can ride across town and you'll see everything change up. The air get fresh. You see fountains out there in the apartments and all. Then you go over here to the slums. Question that. What is that? You see, this is the overall issue. The powers that be, the power structures, who's passing down those laws, those creeds. You hear me? But when it comes down to our folks like all on the Nipsey Hussle, Marathon Continue, you got to create our own opportunity. We got to create opportunity within our own communities. Prime example, Dr. Dre with beats, how he sold beats. You see, that's opportunity there that could have been created. Like Rick Ross Wing House. I went in Wing House the other day for the first time. I saw these Black folks in there. Another folk, well, anybody else, the opposition to come out there and they'll look at that and say, oh, well, this is racist. They hiring only Black folks. Well, go into this Asian restaurant and tell me who you see in there serving your food. You hear me? Go into this Spanish restaurant and tell me who you see in there serving. You see any Black folks behind that counter? We got to create our own opportunity. That's what I'm saying. So it's like, don't take everything as offensive or then understand what is racism. What is racism? You hear me? No, they are upset. Like what you said also. The Jews got reparations. You see what I'm saying? They got reparations, et cetera, whatever the case may be. So I don't know if you're Jewish or whatever the case may be. I don't know. If that's in your bloodline, Jew.
I have family that have
I think
Jewish
I heard you
bloodline.
spoke on that. You see?
Yeah.
So you live in honor of your ancestors. You see, you spoke in defense for them, didn't you? Same thing here. You see, but what happened to our ancestors? You hear me? So it's like the natives were not all, it was not all our friends also. You had a lot of native slave catchers. You see, going back to the slave catchers, going back to protect and serve. You hear me? Understand what law and order, where it stemmed from. It was always for us. You see, birth of a nation, the true birth of a nation that was aired in the White House. It was for us. Laws, the structure of it was set for the Black man. Reconstruction process, understand the history, go deeper into it. That's all I'm saying. You gotta free yourself before you expect the next individual to accept your mindset. You know what I mean? Understand where you're coming from. So if you're speaking without the proper research or the proper intel, then some could view that as being anti-racist. You know what I mean?
No, that's understandable. I mean, like I said, there's some things tonight that you brought up that have definitely made me think. Sometimes I gotta maybe think before I speak and try to put it in better terms. One question I want to ask you though before we get off of here, and it's something so I can learn and understand a little better. When you say you go across town, you see the slums, the ghetto area, stuff like that. In from how you see it, do you see it that the ghetto and the slums are that way because they don't have the money and the means to upbuild their community, or would you say it's because of the people that live in their community make it that way?
I understand where you're coming from. Like I brought that up also. All these guerrilla group challenges and all that. I challenge our folks to get out there and apply themselves, clean up their own community. If not us, then who? You see, Buddy came on here. The other guy that was sitting with y'all, he spoke on the wrong numbers. He was like 1.3 trillion we spent with the corporations of America. No, we spent 3 trillion. You see, it's over 40,000 rich Blacks and browns in America. So we're not applying ourselves. You know what I'm saying? That greed mindset, like what they say today. Black power, hit the cash app. Like what Tower Bay is doing. You know what I mean? Greed, the hands of man. Also going back to the Moors, how we got in this position. You see, so it's always been greed, the hands of man. We didn't get in this boat, you know what I mean, just by white supremacy. The Spaniards were involved. The Eastern Arabic trade, they were involved. The Africans and also, you know what I mean, the Europeans. You hear me? So like what I get what you're saying. We got to start applying ourselves instead of just sitting out there crying wolf and going out there marching and acting like we are really concerned when it comes down to Black lives. So that's our job though. You feel me? That's our job to speak on that. That's our job to really address that. You know, with, like I said before, creating our own opportunities like Nipsey Hussle done, taking 6-0 Crips off the street. You hear me? The first Apple store from him, a gang member, Tupac Shakur, new African political party. You see, start applying yourself. That's what I was saying about Grandmaster Jay. And that's what I'm saying with INFACT members. Overstanding that we mean better. You know what I mean? We mean better. We're not trying to sit out here and really destroy something that we know what we need today. You see, we know they bought the noose out. They got knees on your necks. They're gunning us down. You hear me? It's getting worse and worse. You know, so we need more Caucasians to step up and do their research and speak in honor of humanity. You see, speak in honor of humanity and overstand white supremacy. You hear me? Overstand white supremacy. Blacks got to overstand white supremacy, just looking at the next Caucasian and feeling that they're racist. But what is white supremacy? You hear me? Emmett Till. Who are your jurors? You see, the judge has the final say so, but the jurors, your everyday peers, when you go to work, hi Bob. When you go to the restaurant, those same individuals that's taking your order, these are the peers. This is white supremacy. You hear me? This is white supremacy. It's all amongst us. The way you think. That's what I'm saying. The way you think, you're gonna apply yourself, man. We gotta start. We just gotta really get the foundation set on both ends. You know, on both ends. But I understand what you're saying. But then again, the power structure. You got a lot of Arabs coming over here, a lot of foreigners go right to the bank and they get that loan. You hear me? We can't get that. So I can't sit here and blame it on our own folks when it comes down to our own community.
Well, I mean, it ain't even that. If the United States would take some money and send it over to all these foreign countries that don't need it on nonsense, if they would have poured into the biggest cities and upbuild the communities, you know, maybe that would show a means of good gesture, or maybe it would help out the communities. You know, I've always thought that, you know, maybe the crime rate in these bad sections of the cities, maybe they wouldn't be so high if their communities weren't the way they are. If they didn't walk out there, you know, in the street, you see rats running around and cockroaches running around, and you got abandoned buildings everywhere. I mean, obviously that must do something to your, you know, your state of living. Obviously, you go outside and you see that shit every day. You start to, and a lot of people won't admit it, but you start to get down the dumps. You start to feel like shit because you live in, you know, you live in a slum. You start to feel that way. So why care about anything? And, you know, eventually you're out there getting in trouble. Why? Because you have no care. But, you know, I do think, and, you know, I apologize if this is out of line for me, but, you know, there are white people out there that are just saying, give us a chance. Yeah. Let us show you.
Yeah.
I don't think, and this is nothing against you guys, but I do believe it's gonna take us to come together to beat the system. These you know, higher up politicians, we're gonna have to come together to beat them. We aren't gonna be able to do it on our own. And sometimes you have to take that leap of faith. I'm not saying the whole Black community, but certain ones have to take that leap of faith. For me, you know, if it was me, I'd have to take that leap of faith and give some of you guys my trust. You know what I mean? And I understand that because of the history, it is extremely hard to give some type of trust out there. But you have to start with something. Even if it's something small, you have to give something out there to have that person earn your trust, or you're never going to trust those people.
Exactly.
Not everybody in the white community is bad. There is people out there in the white community that want to see the Black community succeed. There's good and bad in every community. So, you know, I'm just saying, you know, sometimes you have to be able to, you know, if a white man is willing to come in and help you, allow them to, as long as it, you know, just make sure it doesn't go too far where they can screw you over. Obviously, don't let it go to the point where now they got something hanging over your head per se. But
you're right. You know, and you gotta you also got a lot of whites that are the recipients of Black Power. The Black Panther Party created things like food assistance, food stamps, WIC, things like that, and that was taken to balance out the middle class white Caucasians. You understand? So it's like there's a lot of rhetoric being spoken when it comes down to taxes. Like what you said, they got money for wars and all that. You know what I mean? But then again, their main concern is food stamps. You know what I mean? Welfare, things like that. You know what I mean? But they are the recipients also of our ancestors. When you holler Black Power, that's where that stems from. you know, and like what you say, giving them an opportunity. We give them the opportunity, but I'm talking about this is beyond just Turtle Island. I'm talking about abroad. Look what they're doing over there in the homeland, ripping those little Africans and all. These be rich white men. You see, we talking about the power structure. Go back to the Einstein. You see, go back to the power structure. You know, and we give them opportunity, but what they saying, they want to test all the Africans over there and the little kids over there in Africa with the coronavirus first. You see, blacks and browns. You understand that? So it's like we're giving them the opportunity. Look what they do to it. Look what Bill Gates doing. You see, look what they're doing with this Black Lives Matter. Who's behind that? You see, that's the opportunity we're giving them, what they're showing us.
But you guys are giving the opportunity to the wrong people. You guys are giving it to the people that are the elite. What I'm saying by giving people the opportunity is people, you know, people within the regular community, maybe lower class white people, and maybe some of the middle class white people. Once you start getting to the higher class, the people that have money and everything else, like I just told my grandparents, they want to get the vaccine. I told them, at the end of the day, you don't know what's in that, and we are nothing to the politics. We are just another person. At the end of the day, we're just another, you know, we all have social security numbers, right? At the end of the day, we're just a number to them. We are, you know, Joe Brown, Jack and Jill, and so on. They don't care about us. So that what I'm trying to say is, like, you know, you're pointing out that we have given, you know, we do give them opportunities and they screw up. But you guys are giving it to the wrong people. You guys are giving the opportunity to those that just don't give a shit about you guys or us at that point, because they have money. They don't care about anybody.
I asked you a question. I asked you this. When it came down to the Trayvon Martin situation, how did he be found not guilty? Who decided that?
I don't know, but that was bullshit. George Zimmerman should be in prison right now. That dude should have.
The average individual you go in the store and you wave hello to. You see, those who over the essential needs within our Black communities. You see, within our Black communities. You know, so that's what I'm saying. Like, I get where you're coming from. And we give you the opportunity, but what we're saying now, like all on Peru in Kentucky, like they were saying, we ain't finna come out here and burn down the place. You got Antifa out there burning down our communities, making it a little worse for us, exciting riots and things like that in Ferguson. You see, that's the opportunity. You're supposed to come out there and stand in solidarity. So when they give you the opportunity and they're welcoming, look what you know, what's going on, the same thing. So we ain't finna continue running in circles. So it's like white folks gotta hold them accountable. The same way how we gotta cleanse our own community, white folks gotta cleanse their own also. Y'all gotta target these racist Klan members and skinheads, etc., whatever the case may be. That's why I kind of raged when I saw AV show when he was speaking on Breonna Taylor. It was kind of making a mockery. And anytime you say things like terms like thug, we know where that stemmed from. We know what you're saying. You know, so it's like, don't sit here and undercut us. Or like I said before, don't smile in my face. Because when they came with Bibles and swords. You see, as your friend. This ain't the pilgrims and the Indian story here. We are very enlightened today. You understand? So I'm like, that's all I'm saying. It's like, white folks y'all gotta step out of your own comfort zone and hold your own accountable. The same way how we checking this Moorish guy, you see what I'm saying, the Black community. And I ain't just talking about him. We got dudes like Polite Umar. You know what I mean? You got the women that's coming out here applying themselves, like all honor once again. Crystal Muhammad, Michi X. The women know better. You hear me? Harriet Tubman. You know, the women know how to organize this order properly till we both can be liberated. Both sides, both nationalities. You hear me? But it's the men. The hands of man have tarnished this shit here, and we got to do better. You know, so I get where you're coming from.
All right, let's stop it there. We got to do better on both sides. We got to do better on both sides, and we honor all women. Women have been leading the way for a long time. And in the organization and the movement I'm trying to start with EAR, with Ending All Racism, we have powerful women.
We need, and I say that before I go, we need all women, our Black women, to get behind us. Stop utilizing I'm a Black woman like they did me, and Black woman. You see, stop utilizing that there, you know, and to just draw some kind of sympathy. You know what I mean? Apply yourself the same way these men they got to apply themselves. Same way on the opposition. You know what I mean? So that's what we ask for. You know, apply yourself, lead by example. You know how we had the liners of the late movement when it come down to Kathleen Cleaver, Angela Davis, things like that. You know, so we'll also see what Kamala, that's her name, that's sitting behind Creepy, sitting with Creepy Joe. You'll see them come out there and they'll give praise to her. But then again, they never show a picture with her and the husband together. They tell you this black love. But then again, you had Obama and Michelle. When it come to her, she's always by herself. You see, that's what I'm saying. Let's stop pulling this wool over our eyes when it come down to black folks really having some true concern about our own and we moving as a unit. You know, so that's all I say, man.
All right, you two guys want to come back on sometime and talk again?
Yeah, man, sure, no problem. Right now, I can barely hear you breaking in and out.
All right.
So hopefully,
you guys want to come? You want to come back on and talk again? You and Knuckles come back on again in the future, and we'll do another episode.
Sure, man. All honor my comrade Ozone. This weekend going down ATL, address another lynching situation. You see, here we are, 2020. We got the age of DoorDash, things like that, social media. You know, iPhone 10, 11, 12, flying cars, drones, and we still dealing with a lynch. You see, same old noose. You hear me? That's white supremacy, what I'm telling you. We got to fix that. You hear me? So, yeah, man, we'll come back on and address a few issues.
All right.
There's going to be many more to come.
Yeah, I look forward to it. I look forward to having you. I think this is a good format, the two of you talking. I think you're representative of a lot of people. And you both had the courage to come on and speak your truth. And I appreciate that. And I want to give everybody out there watching, and I want to give you two something to think about as we close out here. There are so many people that want to divide us by race in order that we do not see how divided we are by class and how much we are controlled by the haves when we are the have-nots. And I'm going to end it on that. I thank both of you guys. I love you both. I am not a black person, but I do not have any problem saying power to the black people because they have not had it. And it's time. And the only way to get equality is by lifting us all up. And I love you all. Thank you all for being on here. Until next time, it's the American Doofus Show. I'm Barry Welsh. I'm your host. Don't be a doofus.